morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan Armani.
And I'm Robin Murdoch.
We begin tall order for our state's remapping commission for local districts. Ahead of next year's big elections, a panel of judges ordering the state to redraw several state House and Senate districts.
Yeah, the panel says the districts were illegally influenced by race, going against the Equal Rights Act. Fox 2's Scott Wolchek breaks it all down for us.
They've basically got to come back to the drawing board.
Because 13 Detroit area House and Senate seats must have their districts redrawn, according to federal judges. A panel ruling that the current districts were illegally influenced by race and went against the Equal Rights Act of the Constitution.
And they drew some districts that were more, how shall we say, less concerned about black representation, less concerned about geographic areas of interest, and more concerned with partisan representation.
Part of the issue, according to the judge's ruling, nearly 80% of Detroit residents are black, but the black voting age population in these specific Detroit area districts mostly ranged from 35% to 45%, according to the panel. One was as low as 19%.
But their use of racial quotas were evident. And so those seats will have to be redrawn.
Sherry Gay Danyogo says this is a victory for Detroiters to have their voices heard.
Putting cities together like, or communities together like Brightmoor and Birmingham, saying that they had some form of community interest together, that made no sense.
The district seats in question are all held by Democrats, 7 in the House, 6 in the Senate.
There's going to be a shakeup.
The Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission drew these districts originally. It's overseen by Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson. Her office sent a statement reading, Secretary Benson will continue to fulfill her ministerial responsibilities to the commission. Her priority and roles remains ensuring all voters and candidates have the clarity they need to fully participate in all elections and working with clerks to ensure any changes in districts are effectively communicated to all who are impacted. Scott Wolchek, Fox 2 News.
New allegations against former President Donald Trump this morning. According to the Detroit News, the former president is on tape personally pressuring 2 members of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers to not certify the 2020 election. The phone call took place on November 17th of that year. The report says Trump is heard telling canvassers William Hartman and Monica Palmer that they would look terrible if they signed the certification after first voting in opposition. The former vice chair of the canvassers says they had already certified the results when Palmer and Hartman walked out and never came back.
Now we know what happened, why they did not come back in. They were told by the President of the United States of America not to do their job and not to complete the certification, which was it's just amazing just to think that the President would have actually called 2 canvassers in Wayne County or in any state to try to interfere with that process.
I wrote 4 affidavits stating some of the things that I saw that I thought were suspicious. I stopped the vote count a couple of times and made them enter my challenge into their poll book. So there were a lot of things going on. So for President Trump to encourage the canvassers not to certify if they had questions about the validity of the Wayne County vote, I think it was the right thing to do, and I would have done the same thing had I been him.
The following day, Hartman and Palmer tried to rescind their vote, but were not successful. So far, no comment on this Detroit News report from Monica Palmer. William Hartman died in 2021.
2 staff members for the former Michigan Speaker of the House accused of running a criminal enterprise. Rob and Ann Menard were the chief of staff and external affairs director for Lee Chatfield. Charges include conspiracy, embezzlement, and other counts for alleged double billing, falsifying records, and more. Former Speaker Chatfield is also under investigation for sexual assault, but he has not been charged.
Harper Woods police on the hunt for a gunman this morning after a woman is left in critical condition.
The shooting leaving bullet holes in the side of the woman's car. Officers say the victim was ambushed yesterday morning on Woodcrest Street near Kelly and Moross. The victim then managed to drive to a local market to call for help.
We do have someone that we'd like to find their location. And as far as what their relationship is, we do think that these are known to one another, and this was not a random act.
No motive given. Police aren't saying how the two people know each other. The shooting sending several schools into lockdown, which were lifted at about noon yesterday.
Well, this will make some holiday travelers very happy. The first phase of a big construction project on I-94 is just about to be finished, Ryan.
Yeah, all westbound lanes from Belleville Road to Rawsonville Road will reopen today. That work was part of a $10 million pilot project to build the nation's first connected and automated vehicle lane. But take note, guard posts will block the left lane from accessing the nearest rest area and exit. More construction is set for next month. Once that's finished, testing of connected and automated vehicles will begin.
And more good news for drivers. All lanes of I-275 in both directions between 5 Mile and Sibley Road are set to reopen today, as well as most of the work is complete. But drivers can expect to see some winter repairs in the median and on the shoulders. The crews will be back at it in the spring for some finishing touches, with the whole project expected to wrap up in time for the summer.
Well, today expect the roadways to be busy and the airports busy as well as people try to make it home or somewhere with their loved ones just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, I was out there this morning. More than 100 million people will travel for the holidays, and more than 7 million of them are expected to fly.
It was packed. Everybody's seats were packed. Everybody had somebody next to them, so there wasn't really that much space.
'Tis the season to travel, and according to AAA, 7.5 million people alone are expected to fly during the Christmas holiday, with tens of thousands of those airline passengers passing through Detroit Metro Airport, arriving at least 2 hours early, essential, along with keeping the essentials close when you're headed to Cancun, like this lucky lady.
We packed our bags, but we took our backpack just in case with a bathing suit and a toothbrush in case our luggage gets lost on the way there.
This crew from Toledo also giving themselves plenty of time to prepare while relying on this binder filled with everything they need for their trip to Thailand, of all places. Renewing their wedding vows, the reasoning behind this rendezvous, and a repeat of their holiday travel, despite a discouraging experience last Christmas.
No, it's always chaos. Last year our flight was canceled. We had to drive to Atlanta to get on our other flight. This year seems pretty good so far, so we're hoping we're beating the rush.
While there have been periodic lines at the security checkpoint inside the Evans terminal, the TSA has been pushing passengers and their belongings through relatively quickly. Many people flying with presents for their family and friends. Agents do recommend not wrapping them if you can, and instead putting them in a gift bag to avoid delays, there at least.
Honestly, it was pretty cool. The traffic on the way to the airport was kind of congested, but during the travel, it was really nice. And the flight was pretty smooth, too.
Just what you want to feel while flying the friendly skies during what is expected to be a record-breaking travel time. In fact, we will likely see the most flyers since 2019. We're talking pre-pandemic levels. A little holiday cheer, of course, going a long way while navigating the crowds at area airports. This man's leg injury also a big help.
I cut all the lines when I'm in this, so I don't even have to wait for anything. I pass through everything.
Now, airports will obviously be busy for the next week or so. The next big rush is expected next Friday, and then January 1st. That is when people will be flying back home.